To my YouTube channel. My name is Kelly Ishmael, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I use the masking tools in Lightroom to enhance my subject and help it stand out from the background. Just to give you a little backstory about this photo, for the last couple of months, we've been seeing a hawk hanging around in our backyard. Finally got a great photo of it, so super excited about that. I believe this is a Cooper's hawk based on its size and the details on it. And my goal for this video is to just bring out some of the natural details and enhance that and really make it the main focal point of the image. To start with, I'm going to come to the tools over here and I'm going to select crop because I want to crop in just a little bit to remove some of the distracting elements in the background. And I'm just going to drag this handle over to the right and this one to the left a little bit. And I think because of the way that the hawk is positioned or the angle that I photographed it from, I think a centered composition is going to work best. If I try to give it white space in either direction, it just doesn't feel quite right to me. It feels a little bit off. So I'm just going to try to center it in the frame here. And I also want to preserve quite a lot of this fence because I feel like it really grounds the image. And when I crop in, I don't want to crop in too tight so that it feels constricted or just doesn't have any um, uh, space around it. So just kind of being mindful of those things. And I think something around here will be just fine. And also using these guidelines for my crop overlay to help me orient the photo kind of along these lines and these intersections. Um, this is the rule of no, this is the golden ratio overlay. You can also choose other crop guide overlays. So this would be a basic grid. This is the rule of thirds, and this is the golden ratio. So that's the one that I'm using for this. And I feel like this is fairly well centered within the frame, and it's got enough space around it. And like I said, it's got a good amount of the fence along the bottom. And I think around here is going to be fine. I'm going to hit return on my keyboard to go ahead and accept that. I might just pull it this way. I'm just using just what's pleasing to my eye, and this feels right to me. This feels good. I don't know, something about having his head turned the opposite direction. This feels good to me. So crop is there. The next thing that I'm going to do is choose my preset, and I am still loving the Muse collection from Pretty Presets, and I will place a link to that in the caption of this video. I like this Muse 8 for this particular image because I feel like it's kind of contrasty and it's got a nice amount of color to it. It's not super vintagey or washed out, desaturated. And that's one of my favorite details about the hawk is just the beautiful colors, the contrast between the steely blue-gray of its feathers and then the like creamy tan on its belly. So I think that's going to be a great preset to start with. I am going to back it off just a little bit because I want to preserve some of the natural colors in the hawk itself. Okay, so I've applied my preset, I've done the crop. Before I go on to any other adjustments, I want to apply some sharpening, and then I also want to clean up some of the noise. I shot this with an ISO of 1600 because it was later in the evening, and it was also in a really shady part of my yard, kind of between two houses. And so just to be able to get enough of a shutter speed. I always like to shoot with a little bit higher shutter speed anytime I'm taking photos of wildlife or birds. So that's one of the downsides of shooting with a high ISO. But Lightroom has a great tool, and I will show you that. It's here in the detail panel. First, though, I am going to sharpen it a little bit, and I typically will bring this slider over about 2/3 in the amount, or move it to about 2/3 in the amount slider. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hold down the Option key on my keyboard, and then I'm going to slide this masking slider quite a ways to the right. What this does is it masks off the sharpening effect just around the main edges, and that's what I want to do, is just have the sharpening be around the main outline and some of the main details. And I think somewhere in here will be just fine. So now with the sharpening applied, I'm going to use the denoise tool, and I'm just going to click on this button. It takes a moment to load the data, and then it takes just a moment to generate the preview. I am going to keep the slider about halfway because it is so noisy, um, just to just to really clean up some of the noise in the background. So like I said, it takes just a minute to load the preview, and then I will click on the Enhance button. And from there, it takes just a minute to apply that denoise to the photo. Once the denoise has finished, it gives the image a new name. So this is the enhanced noise reduction image that it created. Where you can really see the effect of that is over here in the background in this out of focus area. Let me just zoom in just a little bit more so you can really see that. So this is the after I have applied the denoise tool. And then this is my original image. And you can see here how much grainier and noisier it looks. So that is just such a great tool. I use it. I use it quite a lot, especially for those areas of a photo that have a lot of noise. Like I said, when I've shot with a high ISO. All right, so the denoise has been applied. I am working on my enhanced image that it created. And next, I'm going to come back up to my basic panel because I want to warm up the image a little bit. Like I said, it was kind of a shady area and it was later in the day. So I want to warm it up a little bit. I can tell, especially in this the feathers on its belly, just have a little bit more warm tan type of color. Okay, that looks great. Okay, now I'm going to go into some of the masking tools to apply some enhancements to the subject. So the masking tools are this little circle here. There are a few options, but it will auto select your subject for you, and that's what I would like it to do. So it's going to determine my subject, and you can see in this little preview, it's a black and white um, thumbnail, and the white is where the enhancements or adjustments will be made. And when I hover over it, you can see the red overlay. I can click this button to have the overlay show all the time, but I would prefer to have that off so that I can see the effect of the adjustments without that red cast on top of it. Okay, so first what I would like to do, the preset here is the Iris Enhance. That's what I was using before. And I think that's a great place to start. Basically, it just increases the exposure or lightens the image just a little bit, adds a little bit more saturation and a little bit of clarity. So those were things that I would like to do to enhance the subject anyway. But what I will do is I will increase this texture slider quite a bit. Texture is great for subjects that naturally have a lot of texture. It just helps define it a little bit more. And this is a great example of a time to use it when there is so much texture in the feathers rather, and it really enhances that aspect. I might also bump up the clarity just a little bit more. And then also I will probably just increase the sharpness a little bit because I really want it to be sharp and crisp and stand out from the rest of the background. And that looks great to me. I do like that it's saturated a little bit more. The colors are just so pretty. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things. So I really want that to be emphasized as well. Okay, the next adjustment I would like to make are to its eyes. And to do that, I'm going to zoom in fairly close so that I can be precise in my brush. So I'm going to come over here, create new mask, and I'm going to select the brush option. And for this, I can go ahead and select that Iris Enhance preset again, and I'll use the bracket key to make the brush a little bit smaller because I just want to apply that right here around its eye. I'll probably bump up the flow a little bit just so that it applies a good amount. I don't want to overdo it and make it unnatural, but I think applying a little bit of an enhancement on its eyes will just really, the eyes are so beautiful and one of the most interesting things, I think. So that's just going to enhance that a little bit. So I'm just using my mouse and basically just painting on top of its eye. And I think that'll be fine. Like I said, I don't want to make it unnatural. And if I go back and fit my thing, you can see it's just made the eyes stand out even more. The eyes are one of the most interesting parts of the whole hawk. So I love how it's made that stand out a little bit more. Okay, that looks great. Next, what I would like to do is I would like to darken the background just a little bit. And to do that, I can create a new mask and I can select the background and I'll select a preset of darken. And basically that just reduces the exposure a little bit of the background. You can see here in the white area is where that mask is being applied. So I can play with the slider just a little bit. And I think that'll work. I think that'll be fine. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down and hit close. Yeah, I'm super pleased with that. Might go ahead and bump up that warmth a little bit more now that I've applied all of those adjustments. And I think that really did a great job enhancing the texture and the details in its feathers and its eyes. I like the extra clarity and kind of grittiness and texture in the fence below. And then the background is really soft, reducing all of the noise from shooting with a high ISO. Okay, I think that's terrific. I'm going to hit the backslash key on my keyboard. So here it is without any adjustments, and then here it is with the adjustments. And like I said, just super pleased with how that turned out. I hope this video gave you some tools and ideas, or some ideas for using some of the extra tools in Lightroom. They're really helpful. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.